All right. First thing I'm going to talk about run schemes that some of my bread and butter that I talked about already. Zone and duo. Duo is something that we started for the very first time, or excuse me, I started for the first time here at Gilbert for myself. That is zone. We've been running. I've been running a zone scheme since I was in high school myself. So really excited about this. In our zone scheme. If I can click to the next, there we go. In our zone scheme, um, just basically what our zone is. It's a one technique run. As on this screen, this is straight out of my playbook on Huddle. This is something we share with the kids, obviously, and something that we actually renovated just this past off season. For every run scheme, I'm going to draw the box. At least the front linebacker positioning. Right now on the screen, what we see is just a 4-2, 4-2 under over, however you want to say it. This is just our regular twins set. In our offense, every run scheme is labeled under either an RPO or a non-RPO. Run pass option, obviously, for those of us who may not be familiar. The RPO system that we have is, I think, really effective. I think it's really easy to understand, and it's, again, one of those rules that we teach. So on this screen here, let me get my marker. On this screen here, our inside number two receivers, the Y and the A in this scenario. What we teach our kids is in any RPO, the furthest inside receiver, they're going to have the RPO bubble in that look. And they're either side, both sides. It doesn't matter. Okay. Back in when I first tried this, we tried to say, well, if this is the case, I'll come back and talk about this, of course. But since we're running it right here, then only the A's needs to run the bubble and the Y needs to make sure that they, stalk and reach inside. When we're playing in loud Coconino Stadium, you can't hear your cadence, right? The court wide receivers, they're just locked in on the football. So we changed it to say, all right, our inside receivers, our furthest inside, you're running a bubble. In this case, the Y and the A, they're both furthest inside receiver on their respective side. They're both running a bubble. So that way, neither one of them is surprised if it comes to them, but also it's going to take this overhang on either side, and it's going to actually play with him no matter what, right? If this overhang here is doing his job, right? If this is a stud linebacker, we like to call it sometimes, or a jack, where they're more so a DB first, they're going to see this bubble fly fast, and maybe they'll shift out here a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's something we see up in the box as well, right? We'll say, all right, well, backside overhang there didn't move with the bubble. How about we just work something that goes to the three tech with him on that side so that we get him, peeking in the backfield. Let's chuck that bubble out right now. But let's get back to, the scheme itself. It's a one tech run scheme. Our quarterbacks, we don't run right or left. We don't call in the play saying we're going to go zone right. We don't call in the play going zone left. We're going to call in zone check. Talked about our quarterback being a lion, and this is where a lion comes into play. Not only are you a great leader, but you have to be so stinking intelligent and wise and tough under pressure. This is something that it scares a lot of programs to hear this, right? That we're putting all of this in our quarterback's hand on the field. This is what colleges do. But again, we're in a day and age where kids say they want to play college football. All right, buddy, right? If you want to play, this is what it takes, and let's learn it right now. Why not? And again, it's not all that hard to do either, right? We were able to do this. We're in the classroom. We teach this for months and months and months. Now it's just muscle memory. Running to the one technique here, our three is over here. Running to the one technique, now we work to the offensive line here. We'll work play side to backside. Play side tackle here. They're just solo on, winning inside out. We have a play side cage here, center guard work up to play side inside, and then backside we have a backside gate here. Double team between our guard and our tackle, working up to backside linebacker. Tailback is set directly next to quarterback. We like to put a little space in between there so we're not running up on the quarterback. But also, if this snap is errant and it sails over our quarterback's head, then our tailback wasn't just right here and already in his motion. Now he can't even help out. With him getting a little space from our quarterback, any bad snap, our tailback can react a little bit quicker. In this look, though, the main key here, obviously, backside MLOS, okay, and man on the line of scrimmage. That's where our quarterback gets the snap. His eyes are directly to that backside MLOS. Backside MLOS, as we see in the picture here, if they come up field here, right, or if they sit, or if they dance at all, let's give it to our tailback, and tailback's on our B gap track. And then if he needs to work a cutback, he does. If if MLOS here, if he wants to crash, and we all know defensive ends, they are taught to surf off of that tackle. If that tackle disappears, works away, they're probably more often than not going to step all the way down and secure that edge. That's what they're taught. Great coaches, that's what they're teaching. If that's the case and this end wants to overplay his hand, this is now where our quarterback goes into the pass option. In this option, now our quarterback finds overhang. And we're going to talk about the overhang a lot more later when we get to the pass concepts. But when we get to the overhang now the overhang, he has one or two choices. He can fly down with quarterback and try and make the play on a running quarterback. If that's the case, quarterback's going to pitch this thing out, pitch it out to the A. Now the A is, for all intents and purposes, we have perhaps a corner out here. We're going to work outside. A gets to the sidewalk. Let's take it to the crib. If this overhang, if this 2 here wants to fly with the bubble, which this is what we're going to see a lot of, right? DBs are taught well. Then our quarterback got to be 88 and out the gate, right? And that's, again, where our quarterback, coming back to a lion. Lions are supremely athletic. And we love ourselves a guy at the quarterback position that isn't fast. And this is something we had to learn a lot about this past season. We don't need a fast guy. We need a really tough guy. We need an athletic guy. We need a guy that is capable of getting upfield and going and making a play and not being afraid of it. Because it can be daunting, right? If we had our young quarterbacks I've talked about that played this past season hadn't ever really been in an RPO scheme. We were practicing how to pitch with these kids. They had never even pitched before, right? They're pocket passers. They hand the ball off, and that's been it. So we got to have a kid that's supremely confident in his ability to go make a play outside of just passing the football. So in this look, to the one tech, and then it's an RPO. This is one of these rules we talked about earlier, right? Zone, it's a one tech run. RPO, furthest inside receiver has the bubble. So now let's apply this to a 3-by-1 scenario. Okay, the rule. We go to the one tech. Quarterback finds the one tech. One tech is here. We're going zone left here. Give our cadence the correct direction call. Now we know it's an RPO for the receivers. All right, 3-by-1. Furthest inside receiver, this is the Y in this case. The Y has my bubble. Everyone else thereafter, we're working outside in stock. So if we catch this bubble, we're up the sidewalk to the crib. Okay? Tailback. As we notice our tailback here, we're not set on the side anymore. We're in the pistol set. So now we got to work across the body, downhill, walk the box. Through the offensive line, we have a play side solo. We have a play side cage, guard tackle up. We have backside gate, guard center, play side cage, and then backside gate, guard tackle up. From here, okay, quarterback goes through his normal progression. We go we go MLOS here, and man on line of scrimmage, backside. Okay, he's our first read. He wants to come upfield, give the ball. Let's have our tailback earn his scholarship. That's why we pay him the big bucks. If he wants to surf, slide with our tackle, we got to pull this thing, and now our eyes are directly to our overhang. Now, what is really cool about this, and this is something that as quarterbacks grow up in our system, that they become a little more in tune to. This is, our success at Lee Williams with Noah Petrusky playing quarterback. This is what he was so good at. In this look, we have an extra guy to actually take our overhang for the bubble. So what our quarterback got really, really good at doing, and I hope we can, try and mimic that success this coming season at Gilbert. Our quarterback here in the backfield, he might even give a token fake here. He might not even read this backside Emlos because he already knows he has a numbers game out here of 3-on-2. And this is where though that bread and butter install at the beginning of the week comes into play. We talk about this, right? All right, quarterback, this week when we go 3-by-1, do we have a gimme here on the bubble? Yes or no? We can say yes, right? We have an instant 3-on-2. Show the fake. We can call in zone. Give a full ride there and just pitch the bubble out. The quarterback doesn't even have to attack downhill. We have an extra guy. This is where supreme film study comes in. Again, when I'm showing this when I was applying for the Lee Williams job, when I'm showing this to our committee, our hiring committee the first time, they're looking at me like I'm crazy, right? Putting a lot of trust in the quarterback's hands. But this is something that is teachable. It's not something that is just gonna come about or like a surprise. This is something we teach, and it's a big concept that we can drive home. So here is it out of a 3-by-1, right? We move on here. Okay, this is one of my favorite formations. We just call it Joker formation. We have a nub edge on this left side here, and then it's our 3 spread wide receivers on the other side. The rules stay the same. Let's talk, right? We have 1 tech for the zone. Okay, double teams with a play side solo from the tackle. Okay, tailback is in the pistol in this scenario. Quarterback here, calling it to the 1 technique. He knows he's reading backside Emlos. This is a wrinkle for our offense. We have our wide receiver just run a bubble. You know what I mean? A lot of teams struggle lining up to this specific formation. And so then quarterback can get to his secondary read. Secondary read, usually a corner in this case, especially in this formation. That corner is going to fly. I mean, they've been taught so dang well. They're not run first. They fly out. Quarterback here, we're talking again, 88 and out the gate. Have the comfortability, be confident to go and take it the distance. This is, again, something we talk about when I first install my offense. My philosophy offensively is we can run a handful of plays a million different ways, right? This is zone. This is zone through and through. But I can run zone out of any single formation, any formation at all. My last season at Lee Williams, when we broke down the film at the end of the season, we ended up running, not including right and left strengths, we ended up running 35 different formations that year, right? And that's a lot. I get it. But zone, apply the rules, 1 tech, RPO, MLOS to overhang, doesn't change. Doesn't change whoever you're playing, right? You just got to be able to lock that in up here. Takes a ton of practice. So
Teaching
I have a
process is so sound in all of those, Coach. That was really, really, really informative. That nub formation has taken over to a lot of football. I love this. We got a little tight end wing coming. I'm gonna shut
yeah,
up, and I'm
yeah.
enjoying the
No,
heck out
no,
of this.
no, no. I appreciate it, man. It's just it's something that obviously it's not something I came up with, right? This is things that are bred and true to be successful, and we roll with it. This is one of my favorite formations as well. We have an attached Y with a wing, and then backside we're spread 2-by-2 still. Rules apply, right? And I get so annoyed. I'm sure the kids roll their eyes when I talk about this, but rules apply to the 1 tech. It's an RPO, backside MLOS, backside overhang, apply. 1 tech. We're running right here. Quarterback plays backside MLOS to backside overhang. And then in this set, we love this so much. Furthest inside receiver. Okay, Z, you're furthest inside on the right side. But let's think, right? Furthest inside on the left side, that's my Y. We're going to run just that like tight little arrow right down the line. A receiver, You got to work outside. This line, it's funny. It's drawn where it's at because who knows? Defenses can set up all differently. If this ends up being the corner guy in this scenario, right, and they go too high here, maybe they bump their corner up here or something. Free safeties here, and then the stud is, excuse me, the strong safety is maybe all the way over here. Who's to say, right? Little robber. If this is the case, now our number two or our A receiver here, they're just hooking here. Quarterback, is this a gimme? Is this a freebie? We talk about this. Yes, it's a freebie. Let's show token fake. Let's pitch it out on the bubble. Again, lot of information, lot of knowledge that you have to take in. But you apply the rules. Rules are going to always settle themselves out, right? With this being last season being brand new for these kids, it was a lot. I know it, and they know it. But now we're going to be better for it. Okay. So now that's just it out of an I formation, fullback in the backfield. Obviously, I can say all the same stuff. It's all the same. Here's some film. I don't have a lot of back film. This is from Lee Williams a couple years ago. Okay, this is our zone. In this look, we're going to see one tech up here, three tech here. So zone, tailback from the pistol formation. Pistol set. He's here. We have a solo. Yeah, again, sorry for the drawing. We have a double cage there. We have a double gate here, okay? Here we're work, and then bubble straight. Okay, in this look, we just talked about it, right, guys? We talked about it here. We have immediately an instant 3 on 2, right? Quarterback knows right away, right? And Noah was so good at this. He was able to say it. He was able to take it out of my words during bread and butter on Mondays. He was able to say, we got a freebie here, right? And I believe this clip, we're going to see Noah get the freebie, right? Let's play it here. Noah has no intention of giving this ball here. You can actually tell, hey, maybe I even got on him about this, right? You can tell he's not even looking at the backside Emlos. See him? Not even looking at the backside Emlos. His eyes are already on that overhang, way out here. He's already keying this kid. This kid is diving in on the run. Honestly, not really probably doing what he's supposed to do. Quarterback knows right away, let's just throw this bubble, right? And give a really good athlete space to make a play, right? Up front, working our double teams. If we give this ball to Cruz, shoot, he's probably working a nice little run here as well. But again, this just goes back to our rules. Doesn't matter where we're at. It's 1st and 10 here. You apply the rules. Quarterback knows he has a freebie. Let's go ahead and pull and let's chuck it out right away. Give our kid an option to run. Okay. So again, it doesn't look like much on film. It looks like probably just play action bubble pass, but it's not. Right? We have a lot off of just one movement, and we've been successful going through that over the years. We do have a back angle here. I love it.
And Coach, this is just your one tech zone play, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we run it. The Moon Valley this game, they had both their linebackers.
Double threes at you.
Yeah, exactly. So they're more, what is this, dang near 3-eye here or something like that, right? So they're tight. Quarterback just knew, all right, we can work either way. We know that this solo here, this cage on this case is going to be center. That's going to detach up, working up to Mike. And then we have here backside to double team to Will. But quarterback knows had no reason to even show the give. 56, honest to goodness, the Emlos here, he still overplays his hand at the end of the day, right? I told, especially Noah here, right? The quarterback, he was so athletic. If all else fails, Noah, you usually don't say this in an RPO, but if all else fails, Noah, you keep it. I trust you to have the ball in this scenario. You know what I mean? I trust Noah that he can outrun any given defensive end in 4A football, right? If all else fails, pull it. And I trust you to go make a play, right? Okay, same game. Hopefully we have a back angle here. Again, we have double threes here. Okay, into the zone look. We have we have a solo here. We're going to cage this up. We're going to gate this up. Okay, Noah's going to hand this ball off here. We'll show it from the tight view in a second, or from the sideline view in a second. Okay. But again, we also talked this week, both those bigums in there at the 3 and the 1 tech, right? This is something we teach in film. We can run zone this week, right? And kids are saying, well, there's no 1 technique. We can run it though, because I trust that we can be a little more athletic and quicker on our feet than those big guys inside, right? Give the ball here, tailback gets a nice chunk of about 9. From the side here, from the side here, right? Now we can really see a true read. You know what I mean? 2 by 2, we're just in our twins. Backside Emlos to backside overhang. Emlos is going to sit. It's an immediate give, right? His eyes are glued on the quarterback as well. You can even see the quarterback's face, you can see the quarterback's eyes here. His eyes are right on that Emlos. He's staring right through this kid's soul.
I mean to cut you off there, Coach.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
When you get double threes like that, or you're going at the 3, do you have your guard reaching further, or is it easier for you guys to change your running back's track more to A-gap?
Yeah, we're gonna push the A gap here, and again, this is probably something we talked about now in this particular play, just because we were a little more athletic than the other side. We were able to still hit B gap track, as you see, right? You can see Isaiah, the tailback here. You can see his eyes trying to look for that A gap seam, but it's not really there. B gap opens up. Let's go, right? My inside receiver up top, he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. He should have been a bubble right away. See him kind of jump at the kid, not supposed to do that. But either way, still works out. If we're going to run zone to a 3 tech, though, we're definitely going to say, let's bump to A gap track. So that way, the center in this case is the one that's going to fall off instead of, working over top and the guard falling off and working uphill. Little more vertical bump here. But again, applying the scheme, we get a nice chunk on a downing distance. This is another wrinkle to our offense. We have orbit motion here. We motion a lot, okay? And in this look, right, with the motion, this is again comes back to learning our offense, learning the rules. I love this because when this motion comes, what's it turn into, right? It turns into a 3 by 2 again, right? It's what it does. All right, quarterback, do we have a freebie? We freaking A do, right? We have a freebie here, okay? We know that quarterback here, you're going to see it. He doesn't really put it in. Honest to God, what's the read here, right? D end comes all the way upfield. He should have given the dang ball, right? That's really truly. But because he knows he has a freebie, right? He pulls it still, and now we can just run option pitch here, right? Get into a playmaker's hands, gets to the sidewalk. Let's go get a first down. Again, this is just something that once you learn the rules of the offense and the rules of engagement, right? You can you don't have to think so much. You just dang near know pre-snap, I like this look. And have I gotten mad at players and quarterbacks for missed reads? Sure, everyone does. But there are some times when I'll say, guys, that was me, because that's what we were talked about all week, and we're going to leave it at that. We lick our wounds and get back to, second down, third down, whatever it is. But this is, again, just a little bit of where this offense can grow to and get to and be successful that way. I have a couple clips here from this past season. Here's a good clip from Gilbert here, right? Don't have a back angle for this one, I know. Offense linemen get off the ball well. In this case, running to our 1 tech. Again, 1 tech is here. Okay, so we know we're play side on. We're gate.
Yeah, your left tackle, left guard got great movement.
Yeah. We had a talented group there. Now this is our 3 by set. We're here. You can see the wing here. He's working here, and then we're the arrow, right? Now we're gonna give this football. Okay, but I want you guys to, envision, what if we had known we got a freebie, right? We got a freebie here. What happens if we go ahead and decide to just throw this thing, right? We have an option. 7 comes down in the box. He plays it well, but Lord have mercy, we still could have probably pitched that out if 7 stayed up tall. Now, mind you, this is late in the game. We ran for 500 yards this game, so are they going to expect us to pass here? Probably not. 7, in a real world scenario, right here, he's probably going to stay tall a little longer, right? We can pitch this bubble out right stinking now. he dives, it's okay. We give the ball, tailback finds the cutback. First team all region cat here at tailback. Only played about 6.5 games with a shoulder injury and ran for 800 yards still. Really
Well,
talented
you're
kid.
forcing them to play the whole field. This guy's out
Yeah,
here playing the bubble, and you ran the
yeah,
ball so effectively, and him getting downhill, and that's a dude getting downhill
yeah.
too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Really well built kid, great speed. But again, we know what we're trying to accomplish. We know the goal, right? Life is swell. Our offensive line had a great game this game. It was funny, I told him coming into this week, I told him we're going to run the football like we've never ran the football before. At this point, we were 1-4 in the season. We ain't feeling so great about ourselves, but this was one of the moments in the season that really changed us, right? Changed who we are. So now, go to our quarterback here. Let's go through his reads, right? Number 12, probably one of the best DNs I've ever played in my freaking life as a as a player or a coach. Let's see, he comes up field. He's so fast up field, mind you, in this look, right? That again, he's not going to be able to make this play right away, right? And we still have to put him on an island, right? He's still, I joke with our kids all the time. If this number 12, or any D end, if his eyes are on quarterback and he's able to slide right off right then, let me play at full speed. If he's able to slide off right then and make the tackle on the tailback, well, I'm calling Dillingham at ASU and telling him we played a kid last week that you need to see, right? Or that's what's going to happen in that scenario. But in this case, we know that if he's fast upfield, we talked about this through the week, right? He's a tremendous player, might be a little aggressive uphill or downhill, I should say, right? Let's play it to our advantage, okay? And then we run this, score, ball game's out of reach at that point. And then here's a look at one of our bubble scenarios, right? Pulling the ball. Just a nice little look. It's funny again. This is, thinking about our reads here, right? This is Dobson High. Dobson ends up bringing 6 in pressure. Doesn't really matter, okay? We leave 2 guys on the edge up top on the backside, 1 and 2, right? But if that's the case, we knew this, and this is why the quarterback was so willing and knew right away, I know I can pull this ball. We knew coming in this week, if this cat's this tall upfield, let's just play. I like talking this area. Well, in this case, is it a freebie? It actually is, right? We actually have a 2 on just 1. This guy comes down and makes a play. He's going to make it 5 yards downfield, right? And if he makes it better, then he's going to ASU next year. We know we can pull this thing right away. Quarterback gives a token fake in there. Two Emlos there, or excuse me, 2 Emlos off the edge there. We don't get a great block up top, but I'm big on just getting the ball in playmakers' hands. That's all it is, right? We talk about this constantly as coaches. We talk about it, all the dang time. But if we're getting the ball in our playmakers' hands, that's a big part of the battle, and it's figuring out how can we do it. We miss a block, sure. The wide receiver misses the block up top. Yeah, I get it. But again, if we get it in really good football players' hands, we can trust that he can make a play, and that's exactly what he does. Offensive line, they get this weird look up top, right, or up front, excuse me. We get this weird look, but let's just talk through what we're seeing here, right? With 6 walking up, we knew we were going to pull the ball. We know that, right? But we still end up working 3 straight solos play side, right? Solo, solo, solo. This actually was a gate up, and that's why we ended up leaving 2 guys. It's all numbers game still, nonetheless. We have enough for who we needed to block. Quarterback just needs to be up here and know probably can't be the look that we can give here. It's
I
rules.
love this, Coach, because you've walked us through this against various looks. You'll see so many times in clinic type stuff. This is a cover 0 look, which is a tough look for this, I would imagine. And you're walking us through it in this scenario is really, really valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think again it just comes down to how we teach things and how kids pick up on things. It's tremendous. So, moving on here, there's another clip there. Won't be redundant. We can some volume there. We can talk about our duo scheme now. Okay. So I gave you guys a look at one of our RPOs, right? Now we have a non-RPO. Okay. In this non-RPO, we actually don't call it 2-3 or 2-1. We call it to our attached wide receiver. Um, it's no. This is a scheme that's really growing in the football community. For some people who may not be familiar, but basically all it is a zone scheme where zone, working double teams in the same play. It's a zone scheme, but when you add in the wide receiver, tight end body, right? It turns more into a gap zone where the targeted area is a gap, and then you are forcing tailback to earn his scholarship, right? So in this look, wide receiver or the attached wide receiver, they're on play side end. Okay, we're trying to win inside out. Okay, if we can't win inside out, crush down, wash down. And then from there, we actually have a play side gate. And this is different. This is different from true zone where you have a play side cage. This is a play side gate working across towards a gap, play side a gap, and then working up to in this case, the Sam. Then we have a backside, we call it backside cage here, working to the wheel backer, and then backside tackle stays on solo. Okay, so now what the tailback is looking for here, and this is something we ran when I was in college, and when we had this great tailback this past season at Gilbert, we knew we could have him do it. This Sam backer, this is the tailback's read in this case, automatic give for the quarterback. If this Sam wants to play downhill, okay, then the tailback knows because of where this double's working up, tailback knows we're right down Main Street all the way to the promised land. Okay. Adversely, if this is a good linebacker here, a good Sam, this Sam tries to work over top of this play side gate, tailback now can squeeze this back through what is, call it B to C, and again, we're all the way to the promised land. There's one guy that tailback has to make his scholarship on, right? And again, this body, typically, more often than not, DB body. Are they the best of tacklers? Not trying to point fingers. Probably dang not, right? Not the best of tacklers, especially in the box, reading through all of this muck in here and trying to take a tailback down that is head of steam 5 yards downfield. It's tough. Okay, so again, gives a tailback a lot of autonomy here to be a great football player for us. Okay, and offensive line has to do their job working through. So now back to another look to the attached wide receiver. This is a 3-by-1. Y is solo on, win inside out, play side gate work, backside cage work, backside solo on. Okay, now in this look, we love this because now with a 3-by-1, number 2 receiver, we actually can work inside here and actually try and get to this overhang backer here. Okay, tailback doesn't have to worry about that kid, knowing we have extra help there. Now tailback, all his eyes are, let me erase, tailback's eyes, now all he's doing is looking for the Sam. Sam disappears A, we're going to slide to B. Sam wants to dive down in B, undisciplined, then we're gapping all the way through A. Couple other looks here in the playbook. They're all the same. Let's go ahead and look at it in film. Our attached here is up tall. Okay. Now, sunny slope, like I said, we'd already run the ball 1,000 billion gajillion times this game, right? They have freaking 8 guys in the box. Okay. Big thing with me, as a coach, I don't care what the defense gives us. We got to be able to execute. That's our number 2 offensive consistency goal is execution, doing what you're supposed to do. Okay. Wide receiver. So what's going to happen? We're actually going to play side gate this up. We're going to backside cage this up. Tackle stays solo on. And in this nasty look, we have a walked up guy here and a walked up guy here. But tell our tailback, this is where you have to earn your scholarship, right? And I love what happens next on this play. Okay. Roll it through here. Good movement from the offensive line here. We don't make that play side cage, but again, that's the tailback's read, right? It's this Sam, come on. It's this Sam Backer, right? We already
He's
talked
in the
about it.
B gap, so we should be right down Main Street, I think.
Dang right.
B to
Dang right.
C.
And that's exactly what happens. Love it, right? Sam dives A gap or dives B gap, right? Dives B gap. We're right down Main Street. Let's go get a first down on 3rd and short, 2nd and short, whatever the stick said here, right? And again, this guy's unblocked, right? This guy's unblocked. Doesn't matter. He's not going to make that play, and he doesn't. Tailback drags for another 6-7 yards.
We used to call that a dirty 5, and I love it, man. That's good, solid, high quality football right there.
Yeah, and we had about 30 dirty 3s and 4s and 5s this game, man, and a couple of big ones broke, obviously, but it was plays like this that, made it all worth it. And the kids started really believing after this thing. They were, really, truly understanding now what is it we're trying to accomplish on offense. And this was
at some point, maybe have your O-line guy on and talk about different footwork there. It was a more gap scheme, the gap scheme on their combos. I don't want to get off on too big a side tangent there, but as a line coach, I would love to have that conversation at some point.
I'll give you his contact information. He's one of the best down here, man. I promise you that. He's great. I'll definitely tap you in with him. Same game, I believe, coming up here. Here's our Y here. Okay, he's working here. Should be. We have play side gate. We have backside cage, work back, or solo on. And now we know that the A can play here. Let's roll through it. Look at our little scrawny Y receiver there. Look at him, man. 100 and nothing pounds, right? But man, he gets off the ball, and we had concerns. Some of our coaches had concerns. They're like, man, can he do it? Look at him get off the ball here. I mean, golly gum. Isn't that all we need, guys? Right? I don't care what size you are. It doesn't matter to me. This is all we need. And then tailback's eyes. I freaking love this clip for so many reasons, but I love it for sure for the tailback. I was a tailback, guys. If you ain't pick up on that, right? This stuff gets me hydrated, man. His eyes are right here. Okay, this Sam, he gets stuck in the muck, right? So what does tailback do? Little bounce, back vertical. Great look for us.
That's a great football run right there.
Yeah, like I said, this kid is really talented kid. He's
really well blocked play. The other thing about your tight end there is you can mask a lot of things by playing with great passion and effort. You can see that from him here.
Exactly. Our tailback, he's actually playing football at San Diego. So him and Uriah will be on campus with each other. But again, our offensive line, I like our push. Our right tackle kind of gets brutalized there. But I mean, at the end of the day, tailback has to make them right, and I put a lot on our tailbacks. Tailbacks, you got to make the play right. You got to do your due diligence. You can't screw your offense. You can't screw your offensive line. You can't screw your blockers. Our wing here doesn't get a great block on the overhang backer here. Gets enough though. It just gets just enough. Tailback, great run. What do we talk about with our tailbacks? And I'm sure all of us know this in this football community, but we talk to our tailbacks. We've got to get vertical. We're not east-west runners. We've got to be north and south. I was a little tyke myself playing tailback in college and in high school, but I was honestly at my best, I think, running between tackles. Wasn't getting outside and trying to run past people on the sidewalk. It was between tackles and then getting north and vertical. I've had great tailbacks these last couple of years be able to do just that. One more look here. It's funny on this clip. We aligned wrong, but we have two tight ends up here. Okay. They're going to work down through here. Okay. And then we'll have, this is against an odd front, mind you. We'll have a play side gate up, play side cage backside. This is at Campo High. Okay, so a little confusion here. You can see our players up here. See our Y. He's kind of looking around, not sure. Something went wrong. Like I said, they aligned wrong. But we still worked through play side end. Okay, worked up to overhang backer. Right, so I'll draw it correctly. We work here. Okay, with our 2 tight ends. We're gate through here, and then we're cage through here. Okay, tailback's eyes are right here. Okay, on the Sam. Okay, a little laggy, my apologies. Come on, there we go. Sam dives in A gap. Tailbacks burst of speed, get through. Another great run, right? Doesn't look like much right here. I mean, you stop the film right there and you're just like, you stop the film right here, right? And you have a dang nose slipping through, right? You're thinking, yuck. But again, we learned our rules, right? We're A-gap track, eyes on the Sam. You just got to trust everyone else is getting their position. Our overhang here, or excuse me, our wing here doesn't even get inside out on the overhang, right? But he gets enough. These kids, that overhang, are they true linebackers? Not often, not. He gets enough. We can run through arm tackles. If you can't run through arm tackles, can't play varsity football, right? We got to run through arm tackles. He runs through 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them. You know, that's a great 12-yard run against a really, really good football team at Campo High. So, this is, again, just a run that isn't going anywhere in my playbook, at least, wherever I end up, and especially right now in my pride and joy at Gilbert High. But, our offensive line, like I said, doesn't get great push, but we get enough. We get bodies on bodies. And it's now here where you see, as ugly as it looks, we have hat on hat. Hat on hat. And you hear a lot of O-line coaches, right? Cody, you know it, that talk about just that. Get a body on a body. If you get a body on a body, you give yourself an opportunity to be successful. And we gave ourselves an opportunity here.
Well, and those good running backs, they just want, if they get a body on a body, they should feel like they're going to be able to make a play out of that.
Correct. And, that was something we learned, over the last few years with some tailbacks who just are a little nervous, right? They played 8th grade football where they can just run through the semi-truck alley. Or if it wasn't a semi-truck alley, then they just tensed up and balled up in the backfield. We got to hit that thing with a full head of steam. Because 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to run right through it and hit sunshine, or you're going to get tackled. And either way, it's football, right? We're going to get tackled. We got to expect contact out there. And this kid, little upright in his running form, but he hits it with speed, right? And my number 1 offensive consistency goal, I tell our kids at the beginning of the year, number 1 offensive consistency goal, play fast, right? 99% of errors are fixed by playing with speed. If you just get off the ball and you hit it and go, fix a lot of issues that way. I think we have one more here. Maybe a couple more, but I'll just show this last one.
Offensively, I love this. Defensively, it's just giving me heart palpitations with how many times the defense is just being split. Like, I always equate it to like Moses and the Red Sea. It just and you're just toast.
Yeah, and I like it especially just because whether that Sam, picking on him unfortunately here, but if that Sam, whether he's sound or unsound, he can't be right. You know what I mean? As long as we don't flub our offensive, our blocking scheme, which of course we did this season, right? We're not perfect, but if we don't flub our blocking scheme, tailback makes the right read, it doesn't matter what we were given. We should be successful. In this look here, same thing's going to work. We're going to work here. We're going to actually we're actually going to, I think we even have an extra player on this look, if I'm not mistaken. But in essence, what should happen is we should, 2 tight ones here. That's what it is. We're going to gate this thing all the way down to this play side 1 tech up to Sam. And then we're going to cage this backside all the way to backside Will. Or to just Will. And then we're solo on. Let's take a peek. Love it.
Cut.
Love it. Right? And look at that, Sam. This is the easiest read of all. I told our tailbacks, if they blitz, this is easy. They're already telling you where to go, right? This is easy. Sam's going to go right away. And we already knew. When they show us Tim front, we talk about this in the bread and butter. Tim front or I don't know. Some coaches call it something different, but just 2-1 text, right? If they give us a Tim look, we're expecting some pressure in B gap. They give us B gap, or excuse me, in B gap. They give us down Main Street pressure, right? Tailback nose. Let's bounce this thing. Another good run. We don't get in the end zone here. We get in the second time. But just a good look. Well blocked up front. Offensive line getting some movement. Tight ends doing a dang thing. And again, just the tailback earning his scholarship, right? They even give us backside B gap pressure here, right? They double plugged us here. They Tim plugged us here. But at the end of the day, too fast of a moving play. Tailback gets through. I like the effort from the wide receiver up top on the screen. Okay, stays on for as best as he can, but Dag Nabbit falls off at the last second. Should have walked in the end zone. But
Well,
again, good effort,
formationally,
right?
you guys have so many gaps to defend. Makes it really challenging for the defense.
Yeah. That's a big thing with our formations. That's probably what I get most excited about with our formations is all the different opportunities or the different looks that we can give defenses. But again, good pressure here. Left tackle, his head's a little down, strikes low, falls off. But again, it's enough. Hat on a hat. Let's rewind it. Let's pause it. Right here. Hat on a hat. That's all we need. This guy's free. Sure, we get it. But we have a hat on a hat. Hat, 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 hat. All the way across the board. Tailback has to make us right. So if you have a guy back there at the tailback position, man, if you have a guy at the tailback position, then that's the guy that's the guy that is going to make this play really great. All right, now I wouldn't be remiss, like I said, if we don't make an error, right? And this error, we said it in film. This error is on our tailback. Okay, so let's look at this look, right? We're in our 3 wing formation. We're out. We're gonna crush down from our tight end. We're gate up. We're cage back, and then we're solo on. Okay, this guy is actually I believe gets left alone. Oh no, excuse me. Let me re-rack this. We actually tie this up. Our tackle and wide receiver. We're gonna tie this thing up, and then it's a play side cage all the way back, and then we actually have 2 solos here. Okay, but end of the day, why are we wrong? Well, let's peep the Sam. Right? Let's peep the Sam here. Sam's coming downhill. Yeah? Sam's coming downhill. If that's the case, tailback now needs to think, all right, I got to think back to B or to C. Okay? Now, 2nd and 8 here, 2nd and 9, right? We're trying to just get something here, but here's where now our wide receiver, where we didn't see this in the first couple of reps, our wide receiver here doesn't actually get inside out, right? I told you guys what we talked about, right, when I showed the playbook picture of this. If we can't win inside, we got to crush down, right? Okay, so our wide receiver can't win inside. He crushes this thing down. That's what he's supposed to do, okay? But if our tailback's eyes are right, and Sam is caught in the middle here, tailback should have then went eyes here. Oops, yikes, doesn't like that because that kid is now inside, right? We didn't win inside out, but look at the butt. We have a butt to run behind, right? We have a butt to run behind. We should have bounced this thing all the way out here. We actually might get to the end zone. So with that being said, I'm going to, erase some of this, right? And then we envision that perfect world we live in where every play we ever run goes correctly and goes perfectly, right? We bounce this thing. He might, on that last clip, we seen him do it. Bounces all the way out here. He might get into the end zone somewhere out here. But again, because his eyes deceived him a little bit, missed that read initially. I can't hate what he does though, right? Let's just dive. Let's just get forward. Let's go get those dirty 3, dirty 4, dirty 5, like you're talking about. But I think we could have gotten a lot more out of this. This is a game where we end up scoring no dang points on the board. Tough game for us offensively. This is an instance where we could have actually put 7 on the board and give us some hope in this ball game. Okay, we'll finish up here with some passing concepts of ours. Talked about the overhang a lot so far. That was that secondary read during our RPO run game. An overhang is just any of those, stud, robber, linebacker, safety box types that just play on the edges. We like picking on them a lot in our passing game. It's something that we've gotten pretty doggone fairly good at. But again, it's just really simple teaching that we try to put it through. So here's the first look. This is we have our route tree is just the same route tree that every other school in the dang world ever runs. Even numbers break inside, odd numbers break outside, all that good stuff. So in this look, we just have a 2-1 concept. Outside receiver counting outside in. Outside receivers have the 2, which is just a 3-step slant. Inside receivers have a speed out or 2-cut, 2 steps, bend, no deeper than 5. But our quarterback here, all we're looking for is overhang. Okay? Let's choose your side. I think something that plagues high school quarterbacks is the fact that so much is happening out there that in so many moving pieces that sometimes they just throw the thing and they just hope and pray, right? We know that we and it won't go away anytime soon. But what I tried to do at Lee with all of our coaches there, what we tried to accomplish was making it as easy on our quarterback as possible, the passing game, right? They have to account for so much out there, 1 tech, 3 tech, all that stuff we just talked about. The passing game shouldn't be even more on their plate. So we tell our quarterback, let's choose our side, right? Bread and butter is going to tell us at the beginning of the week what sides we like, et cetera, et cetera. Let's choose our side. Now we're just spying this overhang, okay? Is this concept great against great against cover 2? No, right? But we won't run it against cover 2. We talk about that in bread and butter. In this look, if we're looking at 3 high, 4 high, where the corners are, off a little bit, give us the flats to play with, we're in the overhang. If overhang wants to sit, we're going to bang this one route right now. Get it out there, okay? If overhang wants to fly, which playing flats, most of the time, that's what overhangs are going to do, we replace him on the 2. Okay? Similar look here with a bubble, okay? Similar look with a bubble. Overhang flies with the bubble. We're going to replace him with the 2 route. Overhang wants to sit, try and play the best of both worlds. Spoiler alert, he can't. Throw the bubble. So now we show it in the film here. Oh. Okay. We motion into it. What's going to happen is we have a 2 here. This turns into a 9 route. And then the motion is going to take the bubble here. Okay? One of our rules we talk about. But in this essence, who are we picking on? Here's the overhang. Okay? Here's the overhang. So, overhang. If he dives with the bubble, replace with the 2. If he sits here and tries to hands-on this inside release 9, we got to pump this bubble right away. This is one of our young quarterbacks, right? And this is one of our young quarterbacks. And is he predetermining things a little bit? Probably, right? In this look, this overhang is sitting in no man's land. We should have pumped this bubble right away. But here's what I do like, right? It's a timely throw. In this overhang, his eyes are so glued on quarterback and he doesn't reroute hands on number 2 receiver that he does drift into no man's land anyway. Gives the quarterback a window to look through. But again, I'd be remiss if I'm going to sit here and act like we're just some geniuses that did it correctly. This ball should be to our bubble. This bubble needs to catch this thing, and then we're up the sidewalk. Hey, 11 yards is 11 yards. 12 yards, 12 yards. Can't hate too much, right? Let's see another look here. Oops. Let's see another look here. Okay. We actually motion out of this. Now, looking up top, overhang is here. That's who we would be looking at up top. But what I like here, this is cover one. We knew they were going to run cover one. What happens down here? They bump everything, right? This overhang down here bumps all high. High safety runs down. They just banjo this all the way across. So what happens? There's no overhang down here. Well, heck, let's just play a one-on-one, shouldn't we? Let's just play a good receiver, right? Get his 3 steps. Let's get a nice little completion on 2nd and 7. Let's pick up a first. Bang. It's a good look. Linebacker isn't going to make this play. And again, we don't have an overhang we actually read, but in essence, we do. Overhang flies all the way to the top up here, right?
Yeah.
Flies all the way to top up here. We have it. Now, what I do like, and this is again where my analytical brain goes, I like looking at the other side too. And I like trying to prove myself wrong sometimes. I like saying to myself, all right, is this something that could have worked even if we worked up top? Let's check this overhang, right?
You got a window.
Overhang goes to flats. We have a window, right? So even if the quarterback had decided to go up top and go to the 3-by side, we motion into a 3-by here. If he decides to go to the 3-by side, his read would have still proven that we have the window to throw to, right? Wide receiver throws his hand up. I'm going to cut his hands off on Monday, right? But we still have an opportunity to be successful wherever we go. Here, we motion into it again. We motion into it again, right? So let's play this thing from the top. We disco motion this thing. We're gonna go cross center back out, right here. Okay, quarterback's read if that's the case. We're the overhang right here. Again, we do this in film. We talk about, well, what are you going to do here? What's our look when we show this in film? We see the overhang dive on this bubble, bam. And I love how he replaces it, right? He's a little slow with a low snap. Right? I would like if it falls out now, right? This overhang is already declared, okay? This ball, obviously, we're not going to throw it here, right? We are always taught as quarterbacks, lead the wide receiver to where you want him to be, right? This ball's going to be thrown through here, right? But because it's a low snap, late getting out, our kid gets lit up over the middle. But hey, he catches the ball, right? But again, this is just a really easy read for quarterbacks, young and old. Nothing else we got to think about, right? We don't even have to think about, and of course we talk about coverages, but we don't even have to think about, is it a one high coverage? Is the middle of the field closed or open? We don't have to have those conversations on this. Just make it simple, right? What is it, KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Just make it simple for yourself. I have one guy I need to focus on. One, I need to make him wrong. And if I make him wrong, but I still make a mistake and we throw an interception, whatever, Coach Brown will take the heat, right? I'll let all the parents scream and yell at me all they want, right? And I'll tell you that. It doesn't show on Max Preps that it's my fault, right? But dag nabbit, I'll tell you that, truly, right? I'll take the credit what it's due, okay? Quarterback takes the credit here, though. Great ball, right? Wide receiver, nice job holding on, catching the football. Another look down here. This is a scenario where we actually throw the one route, and I love it, right? Let's let's go back.
Overhang backed up, so it gave you some space.
Simple. And that ball's out right away. No need to overthink it. No need to think, what's the corner doing? Coach Brown's not going to put us in that position, right? No need. Overhang backs, ball. This is as easy as it gets, guys. You know what I mean? This is just something that I think a lot of offensive play callers nowadays can just go back to some of our roots here, right? We try to get so fancy and we run sevens all frickin' spring, and so we have all these concepts that won't actually work on Friday nights. This is what works. This is something that can work. You just got to trust it. Okay, another look we have playing an overhang. All right, just double ins, 5-yard ins here. Again, this overhang wants to, this overhang wants to try and win inside, bang outside. If this overhang's going to flatten and sail, right, bang right here inside. Now, I wrote here inside receiver if it's man or press, then we're going to inside release and run a 9 route all the way through. But we're not gonna harp on that right now. Again, it's all understanding. We're trying to put this cat in a bind, make him wrong. So let's look here, right? Let's look here. Maybe. Love this look. Love this look. Quarterback has it on both sides, mind you, right? So let's take a peeksy looksy, right? All right, overhang in this case. Who are we looking at? We're looking right here. We're looking right here, and we're actually looking right here, either side, right? Okay, overhang is hands on. What happens? Bang outside. Just that simple. And it's 2nd and 5, right? 2nd and 5. No need to overcook it. Get the ball in the hands of a really, really, really fast kid. Let's go make a play. Okay, quarterback. Could he have done the same thing down here? What do we think, right? Absolutely. Look at that overhang. If our quarterback's eyes were down here, this overhang here, he's down back on top of that inside release 9 or that inside in route, right? We could have thrown this thing all the way to the field. It's a long throw. We could have banged it all the way out here to number 1 and just been fine too. Again, really easy concept, really easy idea, really easy for quarterbacks to understand whatever talent level they are. Again, these are also some of our quick routes, right? We don't need that. This quarterback shouldn't have the ball in his hands taking a 3-step drop. Look at his drop here. I freaking love this. Okay? He catches this snap, and I think maybe he takes a step, and the ball's out. We don't need, the passing coaches of the world to tell us we need to take that really cool, pretty 3-step drop every single time. This isn't pretty, but what is it? Is it effective? Absolutely it is, right? It's a completion. 1st and 10 and a little bit extra. We don't need to spend millions of dollars on passing coaches to teach us this. That's just simple backyard football there. Put it in open grass. Here's another look at it. Stealing. It's just stealing. Overhang here, right? This tall safety, we're not worried about him. We're not worried about him. We're looking at the overhang. Overhang dives inside, ball. I even think this ball's out too late. In my opinion, man. I think we could have got this out quicker still. Again, really easy. Eyes on overhang. He's wrong. He's wrong no matter what.
I love those reads where you can give the kid one read and he does this, you do that. I think it's much simpler than trying to get in there and get all the nuts and bolts of, like you said, middle of the field open, middle of the field close. Those object read on one defender, I think, can be very, very effective.
Yeah, and I'll be honest here, a lot of our offensive passing is that way. It is just one read, and let's get the ball out of our hands and be great. Same thing here. Now this overhang, he's backed off. Why? I mean, this is the overhang here. Okay, this overhang's all the way back there. We can already kind of idealize what's about to happen. Right? He's that far backed off. Bang. Again, I think this ball can be out quicker. Get it out. Get half of the yardage back on. We lost on 1st down. Let's have 3rd and manageable rather than 3rd and long. Easy. Up top, do we have it too? I think so. Corner plays it well up top, but I think we still have an opportunity should we throw that football. And in high school football in football, is this really simple or simplistic in football world? Yeah, it is, but in high school football, we can be simple. We can be effective still. Last 2 concepts here. Just a six route. That's a good old fashioned hunt route. Fourth outside step, breaking 90 degrees in, along with our two cut here. Okay, still reading the overhang. Same look, except for now we have a seam 9 here with our six route from our outside receivers.
A lot of people call
Same,
that a dagger. I've seen that
exactly, and
concept.
that's exactly what we call it. It's our dagger concept, and then this is what we call our hunt concept, right? So similar, but just a little bit different. But it's the same read for the quarterback. Same read for the quarterback. Okay, looking at the film here, we're going to motion into it. So it's going to turn into a 6. We're going to have a seam 9 here. And then this is going to be our 1 route. Quarterback's picking on the overhang. Overhang's moving to flats. Love the positioning on this pass. Wide receiver drifts a little bit. We'll fix that, and we'll fix that next week in film, right? Or in practice, right? Quarterback does lead him upfield a little bit, but regardless, right? Overhang's already motion moving out this way. Replace him. Replace him. And notice what this seam 9 does. This guy who it looks like he might be in a position to make this play, he sees this seam. What does he have to do? He has to bite with it. He has to respect it. Takes him right out of the picture. Again, 2nd and 9, 3rd and 9. Gives us an opportunity to be successful and pick up a nice little chunk. You don't have to be Nostradamus. You don't have to be Tom Brady to figure this stuff out. You know what I mean? You just got to be someone willing to put in the time and put in those practice reps put in those practice reps throughout the week and have the diligence and the confidence to put this ball where it needs to be. Wonderful look. Same thing here. Oops. Same thing here. We'll go through it. I love this one. I think this is a look that can get kind of scary for the quarterback. I'm not gonna lie to you. But let's go through it. Overhang. If he dives, puncture the 6. If he sits and waits, puncture the 1 out here. Let's watch. Right off the bat, he's already moving to the flats, right? Am I in love with the route from our receiver here? No, but quarterback just has to trust the read, and it's going to open up. It's a great look. And as a quarterback, that's what we got to be able to do. We got to be able to trust this stuff. We got to be able to trust this stuff. Now, if we're going to get into the nitpick here, okay, this seam 9 from this number 2. This seam 9 should have split all the way across what is this Sam backer's face. That Sam backer could have presented an issue, but we teach our seams that we got to win inside of next available threat in the second level. Okay, so if that seam's there, that at least takes his eyes for an extra second, right? This safety's gonna safety. He's back doing his job. So now this cat, if this cat here is erased, he ends up over here. If he's actually erased because this seam 9 does its job, now this is an even prettier picture. But quarterback still throws it to open grass. That's all quarterbacking is at the end of the day, is throwing it to open grass. Throws it to open grass. 3rd and 11, we pick up a huge first down. This is against a really talented Snowflake team that we had on the freaking ropes. Yeah, we had on the ropes, and they were just a little bit more athletic than us at the end of the day. That
I watched that film. I was really, really impressed with what you guys did in that one.
It was an awesome game to be a part of. Just came out flat in the second half. It's how it goes sometimes. Well, great look there. And we'll end with one more. This is back to the Lee Williams days here. Motion into it. Easy. Right? Overhang here. Flat. Bam. And quite frankly, we at this particular season too. This was the 2023 campaign. We were pretty dynamite with this dagger hunt scheme. Our kids really understood it. Our quarterback knew. I like the timing for the quarterback here. He already knows where he needs to place that ball. Great look. Now again, this seam 9 should have squeezed here. Would have taken the eyes of this Mike, taken him hopefully taller rather than wider. Would have kept this safety a little more diligent too, staying over top. Right? We end up with two guys basically in the same spot here, kind of running a rub concept. We weren't really looking for rub there, right? But, quarterback still made his read. We're going to live with it, live to see another day. Number 2, Devin White. He's a 2-time All-Region DB and wide receiver in the Grand Canyon. Again, get playmakers the ball. How do we do it? We like these. We like these options. We like picking on the overhang. I think it's honestly, the best thing that we do, right? And it's an opportunity to, put the defense in a position where they just can't be right. Both run scheme and pass scheme. Defense where they can't be right, multiple reads on, all on one play wrapped up.
Coach, that was fantastic. I absolutely loved every second of it. I learned a ton. We are really, really grateful. We will definitely be contacting you to have you on another episode. But that was some great stuff. I learned a ton of football, so I just want to say thank you to you and really, really appreciate you taking the time to walk us through this stuff. The Gilbert Tigers are definitely in good hands and looking forward to seeing you continue to build that great program. It's one of the few programs that's been around as long as Prescott. I believe Gilbert's played somewhere in that 100-year range, and really cool to see you out there, and I know you're going to do great things. So thanks so much, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cody, and thank you, Tyler and Cody, for doing this. Right, this is such an awesome resource for coaches to have, especially young coaches like myself, watching these episodes and just gleaming every little bit of information I can from it. It means a lot, guys. So thank you for having me, and look forward to talking another time.
Yeah, really appreciate being on, and not only football, just learning about teaching and connecting and growing things all together, with your staff, your kids, everybody. So appreciate what you're doing. It's good to meet you this way, and good luck to you guys this spring and summer, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Good luck to you guys as well.
Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week for another episode.